In today's video, I'm heading to the northwest of England near Liverpool. There's two things I want to see, both at Crosby Beach. The first is Anthony Gormley's Another Place exhibition, known locally as the Iron Men. It's now 20 years since 100 of them were put in place, all looking out over the Irish Sea. The second reason is to take the short walk along the coast through the sand dunes to Crosby's Blitz Beach. Keep watching to find out why tons of building rubble can be found on this stretch of coastline. Good morning and welcome to the northwest of England. Today we're in a place called Blundell Sands, which is about 5 miles north of Liverpool. The train station behind us here is Hall Road, and that's just a 5-minute walk down to Crosby Beach, where there's two famous things that we're going to go and see today. One of them is something that is quite world famous in the art world, and the other dates back to the 1940s. Let's go and have a look. So this is somewhere that's quite familiar to me. When I was younger, I lived in this area, and this was where I used to play my golf, the West Lancashire Golf Club. It's been host to different open qualifying competitions, top regional tournaments, and is a classic links course right on the coast between Liverpool and Southport. So it's just about a 5-minute walk from Hall Road down to Crosby Beach, and this area is actually called Blundell Sands. It's one of the really nice parts of Liverpool. The houses here, some of them go for millions of pounds, and the views across the Mersey estuary, on a clear day you can see right across to North Wales. But today is quite foggy, so who knows how much we'll see when we get down there. So there's two reasons why we're coming down to Crosby Beach today. The first reason is to come and see the Anthony Gormley statue. So these were Iron Men that were put into the sand years and years ago, and they all look out to sea, and they attract visitors from all around the world. And the second is that Crosby Beach is also known as a Blitz Beach. And that's the phrase that wasn't particularly familiar to me until I read up a bit more about it. And you'll see why when we get down there. But basically the short story is in the Second World War, Liverpool was pretty heavily bombed, and to clear the space and to try and get the city rebuilt, they ended up dumping quite a lot of the bricks and all the rubble from the bombed out buildings down here at the beach. Here we go, Anthony Gormley's Another Place. So this building here is the Coast Guard station, and historically the team that were based here used to cover an absolutely huge area, but in recent years it's not used as much, and the Coast Guard team that patrol the waters on this side of the country are now actually based over in North Wales. So I'm not entirely sure whether this building is still used for launches and putting the Coast Guard out to sea, or whether or not it's more of a backup station or an admin building. I'm not sure. So here we are at Crosby Beach. So you can see down here at the beach that the tide's been in this morning. The sand's still really wet underfoot, And just walking along the front here at Crosby, it's a huge expansive beach. I mean, you can see just how far it stretches as far as the eye can see. And it's pretty foggy today, but on a clear day from here you can see across to North Wales and the Wirral in one direction, and on a really clear day you can sometimes just about see over to Blackpool. And here's one of the Anthony Gormley statues up close, and these statues, I mean, they look fantastic when the tide's out like this, but when they really come into their own, I think, is when the tide is kind of washing up against them, and some of them are partially submerged or totally submerged when it's completely in. And these statues were moulded on Anthony Gormley's body shape itself, and there's dozens of them that go around the beach here in Crosby. They go right out into sea. You can see some of them there really far out, probably just at the water's edge actually at the moment. And they bring visitors to this part of the world from all around the country and further afield as well. And it's quite misty today, but on a clear day you can see right across to North Wales from here and across to the Wirral, and then heading down in that direction there you can just about perhaps make out the outline of the cranes down at the docks there, because Liverpool's also a really famous port and ships go from here all around the world, ferries over to Ireland and big container ships that go across to America and other places like that. So these figures are much bigger up close than what you imagine. I mean, they're stood on a small metal base, but it must be still over 6 foot. So not really sure what this is here. It must be some kind of sea marker to maybe perhaps warn the boats that they're getting close to shore. And there's another one a little bit further out, and I don't know whether you can see on the camera, but right in the distance, just emerging out of the fog, is some kind of container ship or ferry that's coming into the port of Liverpool. Here we go, some information about Anthony Gormley's Another Place. 100 cast iron men along 3 kilometres of the shore, that's around 2 miles, and each one weighs around 650 kilos. So one of the more recent additions in the last few years has been this coastal path that goes all the way from Crosby right up to Hightown. It's all well surfaced and a really great walk. You've got the sea all the way down on the left hand side, and on the right you've got all of the sand dunes which have been naturally created over the years and are sitting here in between the sea and the golf club that we visited earlier. So behind me here you can see a lot of rubble down on the beach, and this is what makes Crosby the Blitz Beach. So this was bricks and stones from buildings that were bombed in the Second World War. Liverpool was really heavily bombed during the Second World War. It was a really important site in the UK, so the Germans targeted it. And when all the buildings were destroyed and they wanted to clear them away to rebuild things, they put the rubble down here.
That's unusual, isn't it? That's like some fun.
Thanks for joining me for another video here on Crosby Beach in the northwest of England. Behind me is the Blitz Beach, full of history, lots of stones and bricks from local houses that were destroyed in the Second World War. And the most interesting thing that we came across was what looked like the sign from a shop that was presumably destroyed in the bombing raids. Wouldn't it have been interesting to know where that shop was? So thanks for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.